Hello. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, still there. Good evening, users of time zones, I guess. My name is Tadhg. I'm here from the Dundalk Institute of Technology in Ireland. And my kind of focus of my talk is going to be kind of around forecasting lake water quality, using this model chain of characterizing the meteorology to catchment hydrology and all the way through to the lake water quality. So this is a water JPI project, and the project itself is called PROGNOS. So the main reason what we're doing this project for is kind of to look at these issues of forecasting, but with regards to the main aspects of looking at harmful algal blooms and dissolved organic matter, because these pose significant threats to water quality in a wide range of waterways. So it's important that we can develop these kind of forecasting tools. And as part of our project, we have a wide array of institutions involved. So we have Ireland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Israel, and we've also got kind of stakeholders involved from each country, where we have the water managers related to these each resource that we're working with involved. So we have that stakeholder kind of aspect as part of that. And so we're also we were part of it is creating this framework that can work across these different sites. So as you can see, we have quite a large geographical spread, and this also relates to different types of waterways that we have we're working on. So PROGNOS itself is actually an acronym for predicting in-lake responses using near real-time models. I don't know if you can make that out from the PROGNOS acronym. It's probably a bit of a stretch, but the word itself, PROGNOS, actually stands from the Swedish word for forecast. So that's kind of how we managed to work there. Because to do a European project, you can also come up with a sexy acronym to kind of like try to take that extra weight for your budget, I guess. So one of the key things we want to do is demonstrate this high value. So we're monitoring high frequency water quality data across all these different sites where you have all these network of buoys. So we have all this constant information on the federal state lake, but how useful is this information? You know, if we're collecting at a high frequency, how are we able to take it then from this high frequency and put it into a forecasting network? And then, the idea is to use different water quality models to perform that to create that information about where water quality forecasts, so we can know some information on the future state of the lake, and also enhance information for water management decisions. So I put my hands up here, and this is something that I did. This is what we thought of a while ago. It was like, oh, doing a forecast is a simple deterministic way of getting a forecast, handing it to our data, and running the model, and then that's. But I can gladly say that we've kind of moved beyond this. This was like an early idea of literally just running a deterministic model, and this one output is now our forecast. But this is something that we've kind of approached, because within our project, I guess we focus more on this understanding the mechanistic in terms of our models more so, but now we've really kind of branched into this kind of forecasting space. So the key kind of thing that we've kind of led into is identifying these areas of uncertainty. So just to kind of characterize it, we have meteorological data, we have data for our catchment model, and then our lake model. So identifying the areas of uncertainty, we'll be looking at observation error in the met data and also in the lake data, accounting for this parameter uncertainty, initial conditions, and then also process error across the different links in our forecasting framework. And then it's kind of accounting for this error, looking at different ways in which we can do that. So for example, including error variance using ensemble forecasts, looking at doing parameter ensembles within our model, and then looking at things like initial conditions and different ways that we can hopefully characterize these errors. So the key thing of this, we ran some sensitivity analysis on kind of like identifying which parameters within our model are the ones that are sensitive, and then drawing from a sensitivity analysis, looking at kind of parameter priors to inform us of the spaces that we're looking to kind of draw from when we're running our forecasting framework. And this is just a quick kind of example of something simple that we've been just developing, is kind of just looking at DOC concentration. So we have this high frequency, and then, like I said, kind of going into that area, kind of displaying this kind of forecast. How do we communicate what's going on, or how do we, make this, present this in a way that's kind of easily accessible from end users as well. So some of the future aims is kind of to incorporate a more kind of nested framework with sensitivity analysis, using data assimilation methods to incorporate this high frequency monitoring. So I'm just going to kind of give a plug. So with regards to this kind of idea of kind of cooperation, I've actually spent the last week, because you might see some scenarios between this project and Kieran Carey's and Quinn Thomas's project with smart connected communities. So I've actually spent the last week in Virginia Tech learning from them and doing work and looking at the transferability. So this is kind of a really good example of kind of that knowledge share that we've been involved in. Yeah, looking to identify visual means to communicate forecasts to end users. And this was actually going to be a kind of a joke, but I was kind of relating it together. We have a web channel, so maybe we should create a lake forecasting channel in a way of like making ecological forecasting. But then I kind of thought about it more yesterday, especially in the discussion, was like, is ecological forecasting something that could be its own branch? I know we had this ecological forecasting initiative now, but is this something that could possibly expand into a broader network and have its own kind of structure and stuff? So that could be maybe an issue for some talking points later on. And I'd just like to thank my funders, the Marine Institute for the Network and Travel Grant Ecological Forecasting Initiative, and the Water JPA and the Environmental Protection Agency. Thank you very much.